reason why we do what we do, you know, breaking the law, is it's an adrenaline rush. You know, we paint stuff on the street. That's where it belongs. You know, it's for the people, it's for fun, it's for adventure. It's not to turn up in auction.
She said I'm friends with the band. I said, oh babe, I don't care. Hey boy, why ain't you gone? Well, it's a matter of fact.
For decades, their work was dismissed as simply vandalism. Now, it's the target of a multi-million-dollar international art grab. Paintings removed from public spaces without the artist's permission and sold at high-end art fairs, galleries, and auction houses.
You know, at least give me the right to say what's going to be in the gallery being at an auction. You can hate my stuff, you can love my stuff, you can steal my stuff. Give me the right to say what I want to sell or not sell.
The most valuable, works by British artist Banksy.
His work is selling very well at auctions for millions.
There's, yeah, insane value in the stuff that he paints.
It's like fucking buying elephant tusks or something. It's like, here's this beautiful, incredible animal, and you just killing it just so you could own a part of it? That is fucking foul.
This was supposed to be the story of what happened when Banksy came to San Francisco.
Well, it's a Banksy.
Instead, it became the story of art dealers.
If they would have balls, they would say, it's a real Banksy, so we show it.
Museums.
So he's the socialist rat.
And money.
Last offer I had from a collector was for $700,000.
What would you do if you were offered a small fortune for a painting the artist didn't want sold?
I have people that want to buy it for $700,000, but I can't give it away for free.
A global art movement. You know, you've got people like Roa, for example, from Belgium. What he does is just incredibly different from somebody like Osgeminos from Brazil or Herakoot from Germany.
Someone came and invited me to paint in New York. From there, I went to paint in Philadelphia. Last year, we painted a really beautiful wall in Rome.
Each city crafts and creates its own artists with its own styles. Paris in the early 70s, it was a movement based around protest, and Black Rat was one of the people that was doing that, and you know, he's continued doing it to this day. The most famous street artist is definitely Banksy.
I think Banksy's great. You know, I think we needed a Banksy.
He's got something up here, and he's saying something always. His creativity, just being totally clever, having something important to say.
I think that Banksy has become such a cultural happening that there's been like the Banksy effect.
I think Banksy had been in London for about a year, and I'd seen these strange stencils, these strange messages, these monkeys proclaiming that one day they'll rule the world, these little rats with paintbrushes that had written messages around, and it was like, this is interesting. This is funnier than graffiti. One of the things that adds to Banksy's fame, you know, it's a curse, is how secretive of his identity is. No one knows who he is, what he looks like, what she looks like. So.
Ben Ein is one of a handful of artists who know Banksy's true identity.
I first met Banksy many years ago. Originally, he didn't want people to know who he was because what he was doing was, you know, 99% illegal. Yeah, the police would have loved to have captured him. You know, newspapers in England will actively seek him out. They will try to find out who his parents are, try to find out who his friends are, try to find out what school he went to. They want to expose him.
Banksy did what we all want to do.
This is the Chinatown piece, and this is, I believe, the first piece that was put up. The funny thing about this piece is they actually went into the bakery a couple days before, and they actually handed the bakery owners $50 and said, do you mind if, you know, we paint on your wall? And they were, you know, said, sure, what do we care?
I like that it has a message to it. There's a lot of graffiti that has beautiful pictures, but his artwork is the kind that makes you think about things, and it's usually promoting peace and nonviolence.
I think he's brilliant. So I love that he's controversial, yet he has a consistency in his paintings that you know it's him.
Why am I treated so bad?
We view artists who paint on property without permission as vandals. They're breaking the law.
He just cuts that out. You know, that'll go up for auction for like $500,000, easy. No doubt, it'll sell. And, you know, it was painted over.
San Francisco resident Brian Greif watched the paintings disappear one by one and decided to do something about it. His plan? Remove a painting and donate it to a museum.
I just want to save at least one of them so the city can enjoy it for more than 48 hours.
I would say 99.5% of everything I've painted within the context of graffiti in the last 25 years is gone and no longer exists.
Our art has developed with this attitude in mind that it's not going to last, that it's never going to exist forever.
Well, it's a Banksy.
Controversial British graffiti artist Banksy has been removed from a building on Haight Street in San Francisco. The building's owner received a notice from the city to remove the Banksy artwork under the city's anti-graffiti ordinance. So instead of painting over the piece, the owner of the building made arrangements with an art collector who plans to restore the painting and offer it to a museum for public display.
Right? If a work of art is made for a public venue to be out in public, then perhaps the artist doesn't want to see it in a museum.
Kessler is one of the world's leading dealers of Banksy street pieces. He sells Banksy paintings, but without the artist's permission.
In the street art world, he's considered a shyster, a villain. Himself, he considers himself to be Banksy's biggest fan, over hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Is that Banksy? Banksy. It is?
People make art, they make it in context. There's a reason that they're doing it, right? And for someone to buy art taken out of context or taken off of a wall or, you know, appropriated without the artist's permission or whatever, I mean, why are you doing that? For a fucking investment?
No, this isn't a Banksy show. It's a show of his work taken from the street.
Banksy condemned the show. Street artists refused to attend.
Now, Banksy's condemned the show.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
I don't care. He is painting his works on houses or properties of other people without asking.
If I
hype about Banksy right now, where nobody knows who he is and what he is, I think is a very strategic and smart way from him to get his work and to get him more famous.
In 2005, Banksy did several paintings on the division wall in Palestine.
2 of them turn up in Miami.
This is Wet Dog. He made it in 2007 in Palestine. It's about 1,800 pounds. It's really a heavy piece. This piece is Stop and Search. It was also made in 2007 in Palestine, West Bank. It shows a little girl with a soldier from the occupying force of Israel. And this was a very strong statement of Banksy to protest against what's going on in the Middle East. You see here all the bullets, shots in there. So I think this is one of the most famous Banksy pieces in the world.
I mean, I can't imagine someone going to the Middle East where there's been conflict for, you know, thousands of years, and an artist in this day and age goes there seeing what's going on politically and is trying to make a statement, you know, and share something with the people and try and make a positive impact. And some fucking asshole comes and just takes the shit off a wall there and tries to sell it to someone in a fancy neighborhood somewhere else in the world who happens to have enough money to pay for it. I mean, what the fuck is that? I mean, what sense does that make?
It's frustrating, but, you know, when money gets involved, this is what happens.
Feel the pain, yeah. Based on a true story, yeah. My life to your life, let's go. Yeah, bitch, you's a hoe. This is my retaliation. You deserve a drum roll. Never trust a skank ass bitch. That's pain. Yeah. Nothing more, nothing less. I feel it hella close to the chest.